A wise man had once said these inspiring words that would be forever remembered by all.
You all, in the name of peace, democracy, and freedom for all. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. Heroic sacrifices have made it possible for me to be here today. I therefore place the remaining years of my life in your hands. We can no longer wait. Now is the time to intensify the struggle on all fronts. To relax our efforts now would be a mistake which generations to come will not be able to forgive. The sight of freedom looming on the horizon should encourage us to redouble our efforts. It is only through disciplined mass action that our victory can be assured.
This was a speech that Mandela gave when he was released from prison after 27 years. So let's take it back to the beginning. Nelson Rolihlahla Mandela, also known as Madiba, was born July 18, 1918 in the small village of Mwezo. His childhood wasn't the easiest. His father had passed away when he was 9 years old, so his mother sent him to live with wealthy relatives at the Royal Kraal Mazikweni. There he had to do chores every day, such as looking after cattle, and his treat was listening to the adults talk about the good days when everyone was free. Because of this, he realized he wanted to help the non-whites gain their freedom again. He dedicated the rest of his life to demolishing apartheid, which was forced segregation on the basis of race. From political prison to South Africa's first black president, Nelson Mandela has left an impact by showing his people, his country, and the world the strength and power of integrity and forgiveness by courageously standing up to oppression and bringing racial segregation awareness to South Africa. Mandela's early childhood experiences and education influenced much of his thinking in adulthood. As a child, he was a quiet yet industrious boy. He attended primary school in Kunu where he learned English, Xhosa, geography, and history. His teacher at that school gave all the students English names, and since Mandela was mischievous, she decided to give him the name Nelson, which means troublemaker. He was active and energetic and had an interest in running, boxing, and rugby. He attended Fort Hare University but was expelled because of his participation in a boycott against the quality of food. Mandela believed in fairness and equality for all. He then ran away to Johannesburg and worked as a guard at a mine. During this hard labor, he understood the importance of education and went on to complete his degree at the University of South Africa.
He was fascinated by law and wanted to understand policymaking and governance as a way of changing the culture. Therefore, he decided to study law at the University of Witwatersrand. This was the start of his journey into politics and reaffirming his belief in equality. There were many people that defined and shaped Mandela's thoughts and actions. In college, he met 3 people who were anti-apartheid activists, one of which was Walter Sisulu, who introduced him to the ANC, the African National Congress. Cicely then introduced Mandela to his cousin, Evelyn Mays. Shortly after, Mandela and Mays married and had 4 children. He later divorced her and married Winnie, a social worker in Johannesburg, and had 2 children. He divorced her as well, and Mandela then married his 3rd and last spouse, Graca Machel. He had always wanted a big family, and fortunately, his 6 children had 17 grandchildren. Mandela also set up South Africa's first black law firm, which was the start of tackling the problem of apartheid.
The ANC was a crucial part of Mandela's life. The ANC was a peaceful, multiracial nationalist group trying to bring about political change in South Africa. The goal of the ANC was to promote the organization into a mode of radical action. They believed that black people had to be easily mobilized for outright confrontation with white rulers. A few years later, after Mandela joined the ANC, he went on trial for treason, which lasted 5 years. Of the many unfair practices in South Africa, black people had to carry a pass similar to a passport with them at all times. This led to a shooting that occurred in Sharpeville, which provoked the government to ban the ANC as a legitimate organization. The ANC became enraged at the government's decision, so they abandoned the policy of non-violence and went abroad for international support. When Mandela returned, he and the other ANC leaders were tried for plotting to overthrow the government using violence and for leaving the country without having the appropriate pass and sentenced to life in prison. On February 11, 1990, after 27 years, Mandela was released and the government withdrew the banishment of the ANC. Mandela became leader of the ANC for 6 years and was recognized everywhere for his actions.
Mandela's achievements have shined a light on his causes. Mandela became South Africa's first black president, and this was a huge accomplishment for Mandela as well as for South Africa. His presidency ended after 7 years and shortly after he announced his retirement from public life, but still did charity work. As a sign of respect, a permanent statue of Mandela was unveiled in Parliament Square, London in 2007. It was a sad loss for the world when he died on December 5, 2013, at the age of 95, and Mandela Day is now globally recognized on July 18th, his birthday. Even Hollywood has made a movie about Mandela and his love for rugby called Invictus, where he used sports to bring the racially divided country together. He became a potent symbol of resistance as anti-apartheid movement strength, and his hard work had finally paid off when in 1994, South Africans could vote for the first time in history. Mandela had dreams and strong beliefs for freedom and fairness. His dreams are finally realized.
It is incredible that a man who was in jail for 27 years never wavered from his deep inner drive for freedom for his people and his country. His actions are based on role models that he admired, such as Gandhi, whom Mandela respected for his approach to nonviolence. Throughout Mandela's journey, he focused on showing love and understanding to change society and to bring equality to his country. History has shown us that every now and again we are lucky to have an inspirational leader who is responsible for a lasting effect on the world. His perseverance, sacrifices, and belief led South Africa to be a nation of free and united people. He took on what was there and pushed himself to change it when no one else would try to. One can see the courage of Mandela through his quote, "There is no easy walk to freedom anywhere, and many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadow of death again and again before we reach the mountaintop of our desires."